The smile on Zhang Yixian's face disappeared. He lowered his head and looked at the tip of the knife that pierced through his chest, his eyes full of confusion. He didn't know where the knife came from, but in a flash he figured it all out, because he saw Zhang Yi, who was clearly far away from him, stab the knife in his hand towards Xing Tian, but the blade disappeared strangely in mid-air. Puff! Zhang Yi pulled the long knife back directly. The presence of the blood groove made the knife more traumatic to the human body after it was pulled out, and the bleeding continued. Zhang Yixian fell to the ground all of a sudden, and his chest was stained red with blood. Zhang Yi, what are you doing? Xiao Honglian frowned and scolded Zhang Yi in a deep voice. Everyone else looked at Zhang Yi, their eyes full of caution. Even though they had a bad relationship with the snow worship sect in the past, they were now in the same boat and had just defeated the corpse tide. It should have been a time of rejoicing, but Zhang Yi secretly killed someone, which was really despicable. Bailey Chang King and other members of the investigation team frowned and watched, but did not say anything. They would not participate in the fight between the local forces in Tianhai City. Zhang Yixian raised his head and stared at Zhang Yi. The priests of the snow worship sect protected Zhang Yixian behind them with angry faces, and then made a posture of fighting to the death with Zhang Yi. Liang Yue and others also stood beside Zhang Yi, ready to fight at any time. Han Chang of the snow worship sect had the most explosive temperament. He was about to rush over with his teeth bared in his incarnation of a flat-headed brother. But Liang Yue drew his long sword from the sheath, and the cold light of the sword made him quite afraid. Damn guy, I must kill you! Han Chang bared his teeth and roared. The atmosphere at the scene was tense, and it seemed that a fight was about to break out. Xing Tian, Xiao Honglian, and Wei Dinghai looked at Zhang Yi with dissatisfaction in their eyes. Zhang Yi, why are you doing this? Zhang Yixian stared at him intently. Zhang Yi's attack just now was too fast and went straight through his body. Although he is the top person in Tianhai City, Zhang Yixian's ability is telekinesis, and his physique is not much stronger than that of ordinary people. At this time, his chest was pierced, and he no longer had the strength to fight. So if they fight, it will be very disadvantageous to them. Everyone knows how strong the combat effectiveness of Zhang Yi's team is. Wei Dinghai also frowned and looked at Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi, you need to give us an explanation for this matter. Otherwise, we will not sit idly by. Although they don't care about the life and death of the snow worship people. But Zhang Yi's approach is too dangerous, making them think that Zhang Yi wants to take the opportunity to eliminate other forces in Tianhai City. They have to be on guard. Zhang Yi held Long Ming in his hand, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Although the angle was not grasped well because of the double door attack just now, it did not directly penetrate Zhang Yixian's heart. But now that Zhang Yixian has lost his combat effectiveness, the situation is under his control. Zhang Yixian, it's already this time. Do you still want to pretend? Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes, stared at Zhang Yixian, and said word by word, Isn't the biggest mastermind behind the corpse tide in Tianhai City your snow worship sect? These words were powerful, and the content expressed in the words shocked everyone present. Xiao Honglian widened her eyes. What? The mastermind behind the corpse tide is the snow worship sect? Other forces, investigation teams, including the priests of the snow worship sect, also showed unbelievable expressions. Han Chang roared at Zhang Yi. What nonsense are you talking about? Do you know how many followers the snow worship sect lost in this corpse tide? Xing Tian also said to Zhang Yi, Yes, the snow worship sect suffered the most tragic losses in this corpse tide. If they are really the mastermind, they wouldn't do such a stupid thing, right? Zhang Yi turned his head and looked coldly at Zhang Yixian, who was kneeling on the ground, covering his chest. A gloomy and crazy look appeared in Zhang Yixian's eyes. He never dreamed that Zhang Yi would discover their secret. Shut up! Don't talk nonsense here. Do you think anyone will believe you? Zhang Yi laughed. Whether everyone believes me or not, they will naturally analyze it after I finish speaking. Zhang Yixian, what are you afraid of? After hearing Zhang Yi's words, although they didn't believe it in their hearts, it didn't affect them to continue listening. After all, Zhang Yi hurt Zhang Yixian, not them. And the information Zhang Yi said was too explosive. They all wanted to hear what was going on. Bailey Changqing and others also stared at Zhang Yi with serious eyes. They still didn't know the cause of the corpse tide in Tianhai City. Even the captain, Bian Junwu, died in the battle. They didn't want to leave any regrets. If they could investigate the cause of the corpse tide and report back, they would be worthy of Bian Junwu's sacrifice and have a way to explain to the top leaders of the Jiangnan region. Zhang Yi said loudly, "Everyone, from the very beginning, all this was a conspiracy of the snow worship cult. Everything started with the Ice Soul. It's true that the Ice Soul can awaken people's superpowers and enhance their potential, but its real function is to allow the superpowers of the person who uses the Ice Soul to return to Yuan Kongye's body after the person who uses the Ice Soul dies. That's why the snow worship cult was so generous to give us the Ice Soul. And they spared no effort to start a war in Tianhai City with the aim of killing more people. Even if it's their own followers, it doesn't matter if they are sacrificed. Ordinary followers will only be a burden and are inherently worthless. They absorb a large number of followers just to select those with potential for superpowers and then awaken their superpowers. Then let them die so that their superpowers return to Yuan Kongye. So even if all the people of the snow worship cult are dead, it doesn't matter to Yuan Kongye, because from the very beginning, she didn't need so many followers." Zhang Yi's eyes became gloomy. "She has something better to use. That is the zombie army she created. Compared to ordinary humans, this undead army that completely obeys orders is powerful and not easy to die is her real trump card." Zhang Yi's words made the air quiet. This information was too explosive, and no one could easily believe it. Xiao Honglian, Bailey Changqing, and others couldn't help but look at Zheng Yixian's face, wanting to get some answers from his face. Zheng Yixian gritted his teeth and said angrily, "You are talking nonsense! Slander! He slandered us! How could the snow worship cult have such a thing? If we really have the ability to control the zombies, how could we be suppressed by your major forces everywhere? Without real evidence, you attacked me based on your own speculation. Ha-ha, Zhang Yi, I suspect you are the mastermind behind it." Zheng Yixian pointed at Zhang Yi and said coldly. Everyone at the scene looked at Zheng Yixian, then looked at Zhang Yi and was immediately confused. Zheng Yixian's statement was obviously more in line with their understanding. Back then, the snow worship sect was squeezed out by the 4 major bases and could only survive in the cracks, using the Ice Soul to exchange for breathing space. How could it suddenly control hundreds of thousands of zombies in just a few months? If Zhang Yi and Zheng Yixian were more suspicious, then it would undoubtedly be Zhang Yi. After all, Zhang Yi's power is still intact. Zhang Yi said calmly, "There is an abandoned building next to St. John's Cathedral, and there is a huge blood-colored vine in it. Its function is to absorb nutrients from corpses and the earth, and then cultivate corpse kings. The corpse king has the ability to spread viruses and create zombies. The people of the snow worship sect did not use this trump card before. Either they did it on purpose or because the blood vine has not yet fully matured." Zhang Yi pointed his finger at Zheng Yixian and said lightly, "Since you say I have no evidence, do you dare to take us to the snow worship sect? Dig up the blood vine and we will know the result at a glance." Bailey Changqing, Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, and Xing Tian were all tempted. That's right, hearing is false, seeing is believing. In fact, they all had their eyes on the abandoned building when they were defending the snow worship sect camp. They also sent people to investigate secretly. It's just that the results of the investigation were not satisfactory. It was found that it was just a mutant plant that could produce food. But Zhang Yi's words immediately aroused their suspicion. Xiao Honglian crossed her arms and said to Zheng Yixian, "Zheng Yixian, if you have a clear conscience, just follow what Zhang Yi said and take us over to have a look." Wei Dinghai also said lightly, "Yes, we will know whether it is true or not at a glance. Then we can also clear your name." Xing Tian nodded. "I agree with this approach." Although Bailey Changqing and others did not express their opinions, it was not difficult to see from the expressions on their faces that they clearly planned to go over and have a look. After all, they also suspected that there was a problem there at the beginning. It was just that time was limited, and they did not have time to observe carefully. Zhang Yixian's heart sank. He endured the severe pain in his chest and said to Zhang Yi, "If you find that there is nothing there, how are you going to explain what you did? You can't stab me in vain, right?" Zhang Yi raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth. "If you are found to be innocent, I guessed wrong." Then Zhang Yi drooped his eyelids. "You can come and fight me." "You—" Zhang Yixian was furious. Zhang Yi's behavior was too rogue, but he had no other way. Even the other forces around him didn't think Zhang Yi did anything wrong. Now it is the end of the world. Killing and looting are commonplace. The major forces fought to the death in the past, and there were many grievances. They didn't bother to care about Zhang Yi and the snow worship sect. They only cared whether what Zhang Yi said was true. Is the outbreak of the corpse tide related to the snow worship sect? Han Chang said angrily beside Zhang Yixian. "Okay, we are on the right track in the snow worship sect, so we are not afraid of you. However," he pointed his claws at Zhang Yi, "if it is not what you said, I will definitely pull your intestines out." Zhang Yixian suddenly shouted in a low voice, "No! Don't let them get close to the blood vine!" Bailey Chengqing was a little absent-minded when he saw this scene. "Not allowed to go? Is there a ghost?"